Hi, Adele here.
And Lisa.
I'm Angel.
And we're going to be talking about what to expect on your first event with permanent jewelry. So, to get it started, we have Angel and Lisa, one of our trainers, and myself. We want y'all to be as prepared as possible for your first event. So, we're just going to be discussing a few ideas, a few topics, and things to think about so that you are fully prepared on your first event or festival or wedding, planning events and things like that. So we want you to be prepared and have all the tools necessary. So Lisa, Angel, what do you guys always bring to your first event or at your first event? Did you forget something? Like, let's discuss that.
Okay, so I can go first. And an event can be anything, not just festivals, whatever. It could be a private party, it could be birthdays, it could be anything. So one of the most important things that you must have is, besides the basics that came into your kit, is like always have an extra like an extension cord, a surge protector because you want to protect your welder, as well as
A power source.
power source.
Battery.
Yep, because you're not always they don't always provide you with electricity.
True, but I always ask beforehand.
Correct.
If I can, yeah.
Correct. But even when you pay for electricity, you get there and sometimes they don't have it. So it's always good to have a jackery or a power source with you.
Awesome.
For me, gosh, I can think of the things I forgot the first time. I needed a light,
Oh.
and I think we don't think about that. We don't think about like, I'm going to need a light. There's lights everywhere. But when you're in that detail and you've got those glasses on and, I was like, ooh, I really need a light. And so that was the thing that I think I missed and wish I would have brought, because then the panic sets in. So the light is absolutely a must, and something to set my supplies on. I learned that at the beginning. I would just have it like on my table, so it aesthetically didn't look super great, and also it's like in the way kind of. And so if you can set it to the side, it just makes it look prettier. And it's not in your way when you're trying to do everything. I love having like a little caddy next to me with like my go-to items right next to me. She does too. I mean, it looks better, right?
You know what I forgot on my first event was my QR code to take payment.
Oh my gosh, right?
It was like I had to scramble and figure it out real quick and log in, and then I had to like manually put everything in every time someone paid. So that was like, being prepared is so important. Like having a test drive of your event beforehand is so important, so you could make sure that everything's in your bag or your carry-on, whatever you're using to transport. And water. I didn't have anything to drink, and I had to ask people like, hey, can you go get me a drink or a snack? And I was a mess, I'm not gonna lie. So it's like that first time you could think of everything and be like, oh, it's going to look so cute. But then when you get there, you're like, oh, I forgot a pencil or a pen to write everything down. Scissors, like tape, just to hang a sign or something like that. Like all those little things, like it's good to have a little baggie with like just essentials for just in case moments.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. And then make sure you read the print on particular event that you're doing, whether it's a festival, an outdoors event, or anything, because even though they have an event coordinator or somebody that's giving you like your booth space or whatever, sometimes they provide you with tables, others they don't. So make sure it's very important for you to read what is required of you to bring to those events.
Great. Yeah. And now, what would you say is not necessary for your first event? Say, like, maybe you were thinking of all these beautiful things to bring to your booth, right? And then you're like, oh, I brought too much. Like maybe keeping it minimalist, keeping it simple.
You can bring extras, which I always do, but don't bring it into your booth, because then your booth will look overcrowded.
Right.
But it's always if you feel comfortable with bringing extras, leave it in your car, leave it somewhere, or put it under the table that's covered. just so your space doesn't look so crowded.
I think the things I remember bringing were like decorations. Like I felt like I had to decorate the space because I'm always used to decorating like my studio or whatever. Yeah. So these props, and I'm like, no, the jewelry's gonna do it. Like, yes, a nice cloth is good for the table, but I don't need to be like, your bling is whatever, or like some sign for that. I think the banners are great, or whatever we're promoting. But like overdoing it with decorations wasn't necessary. And the other thing was there's too many choices of chains. Like I want to give them some chains to choose from, but I've seen people get like stuck in decision. And so if I had like 50 chains there, they're just like, oh, well, and you're like,
Too overwhelming.
let's go. Like I want to help you, but I don't want them to get too stuck in indecision. So I'm like, I'll bring certain ones so that it's like, okay, this is what we've got. And it helps them to just like move on with it.
Yeah.
And not because I want to give them a disservice of their experience, but I want them to like enjoy it and not get stuck.
Right.
You know?
Right. Now let's talk about client interaction. Like I'm always kind of like I like conversation, so it's easy to have a one-on-one conversation. But like do you use a script for like your interaction with the client? Do you say, hi, welcome? Like talk to me about that.
So what I do is anybody that either passes by my booth or I'm very, very interactive. I'm out there, I'm outside. I greet everybody with hello, hi, how you doing if they stop by. Then I'm always ask them, have you ever heard of permanent jewelry? And if they say yes, if they say no. And then another thing I've learned with experience is I have a board that says how it works. So it's self-explanatory for when I'm busy welding. So you pick your chain, you choose what part of the body you're going to put it on, whether there's a bracelet, a necklace, an ankle, a ring, whatever it is, earrings. And then we go from there. So if I'm not available to answer questions, I have that as my backup.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm at events or if I'm there with people, I definitely always greet them because that softens the mood. Also, I want to get to know them. Even if they're just casually looking at, what I have, they may come back, they may return. Because a lot of times farmers markets, things like that, they'll look at something, even myself, and then I'll come back. I'll circle back. Oh, yeah, I'll check that on the way out.
Right.
So I greet everybody. I even genuinely take, and I'm sure she does this as well, like a compliment. Like I'll be like, oh, I love your lipstick. And I genuinely do because I want to be as authentic with them. And then that starts like a conversation about, something else. And then it goes into, whatever they're looking for. And I agree, like having those go-to questions of like, and the frequently asked questions right there, super easy to really transition into, are we doing a bracelet? Are we doing an anklet? All of that. Yeah.
And what questions do you let or not let, but what questions do you ask them to kind of get them like, oh, are you looking for a dainty bracelet or a thicker bracelet? Is it a bracelet? Do you want an anklet? A ring? I also do rings. Like, how do you guys offer those extra things? Do you have a sign?
I have a sign for mine. I'll always, and this is not everybody does this, but if I'm doing a festival, I have a special chain for that particular festival to match the color of the festival. Like, a festival special. And I have a display on my front table by itself with the price, no questions asked. $10 extra for an anklet. That's just how I do my events. Rings available. So everything is like clear, black and white. Because if you are alone or if you have just minimal amount of help, that helps everybody kind of like walk by and see.
Right. Yeah.
I actually like that tip, and I think I'm going to use it because I'm all about like, this is exclusive to them, it creates that scarcity because you want them to get that, experience like, oh, I can only get it here. Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to leave an event and be like, I got it there and you can't get it? Like, and it does give that exclusivity. I also will take a look at what they have on already. And if they have something on, I'm like, oh, I love that. Are we pairing something with that? And mine is more of a conversational, because I just got so used to that going up in the beauty industry that I want to create that conversation and relationship. I want you to come back.
Yeah, once you come back, or if there's another that's like, oh, you're having a baby shower, follow my Instagram. Exactly. That's how you network.
Yeah.
Along those, like, say your first event, did you guys take payment first? Like, how did you guys do your process as far as like, okay, you pick your bracelet or the chain, you size it, and then take payment and then weld it on? Or do you guys ever think about that flow?
I do it by, if they decide to get something, as I'm welding, I'm asking them, I have all my QR codes of payments methods. And if I take credit card, my credit card little reader is right there. So as I'm welding, I tell them, you can go ahead, and especially if you have long lines. So I tell them, well, I'm measuring or welding, if you want to go ahead and pay. That way we got this out of the way. And it saves you time, and it saves you, like the other people that are waiting. It just makes the flow go by a lot easier. So if I have Venmo, let's say we take Venmo, Cash App, we have so many apps these days. So I have a QR code for every single app that I take payments off. And if it's cash, they go ahead while I'm measuring them. They put the money down, and my cash register is right underneath my feet, and I'm able to give them change. And I have a tip jar, because my helpers always get the tips.
Yeah, don't forget your tip jar.
Yeah, I love that.
It is. I mean, it is a service. I mean, at the end of the day, you're providing something special for them. So it's nice to do that. So, what about, like, have you had any funny situations at an event?
I have.
A funny situation? I want to hear it. I miss you always have funny situations, so please share.
Well, it really wasn't a funny situation, but it turned out to be a funny situation. So I'm doing an anklet, and my client just lays on my bed, and I'm doing her anklet, and I was by myself, so I handed her the camera and said, can you video us for just for my content, and so I can put it on my Instagram page or Facebook page, whatever we're doing. And I handed her the glasses, so she started videoing herself with the dark glasses, and completely, totally forgot about that, like taking the video of the anklet. And after I was done, I was like, I told her thank you, whatever. She was like, I just took pictures of myself, and I didn't get any pictures of you doing my anklet. So it turned out, and then so she had 3 other friends with her, so they all kind of like, it was funny. I don't know.
So for the people that are just starting out, I know a lot of people are always like, oh, a handshake. So my situation came from, I was at this farmer's market, and where I'm at, it's a kind of high-end area. And so I know, like, there's just a certain mentality, behavior. I know how to behave, and I've lived in this area for a long time. So I remember a woman sat down, and she was like, I have a reservation in 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's not per se or anything. But I mean, it's really not when you're able to move fast. And so she sat down, she put her arm down, and we're measuring everything out. And I'm trying to get it together, but I'm clearly seeing her do this. Like, she's got one arm here, and she's doing this, and she's like, I really got to go. And I've really got, and I'm like, I'm trying to do, and I'm not kidding you. It had been like 2 minutes, but every time she would do that, I was starting to get things together. I was doing everything. She's making me nervous, so my hands are like getting worse. And I was like, after like the 3rd time of like trying to do this, because she's making me so nervous, and I can work well under pressure, I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for you today. I don't want you to miss your reservation. I was super polite, because customer service is my thing. But I was like, I just don't think it's the right time for you right now. Maybe after your reservation, you come back. It was not worth that amount for any amount of the bracelet for my piece. And I like protect my piece. And the way it was going, it would not have given a good experience to the people that are around her. If they would have like seen anything or seen me, I would never act inappropriately. But I was just like, I'm going to go ahead and let you go so you don't miss your reservation. And when you come back, I might still be here. And if not, I'm back this time and I'll still have this chain, or I'll make sure I'll flip this aside for you. Because it was so stressful. I'm like, you're making me shake, and I shouldn't even be shaking right now. So, and she was like, oh, like, I don't think she expected me to tell her no to her money, but your money is not worth my peace. Okay.
And that is a huge take on mastering your nerves. Because this is something new. Once you get that experience and you start getting the flow of it, you're like, boom, boom, boom. And you could practice on yourself. You could practice alone. You could practice on family. But once you get that first client and you're doing that, you don't know this person, they're staring you down. And we're going to do the nitty gritty, right? Like, we're going to give you the ugly so that you know what to expect. They're staring at you and they're just watching everything you're doing. And you're like, oh my gosh, trying to make sure that this jump ring is meshing just right so that the weld is perfect. Your hands start to sweat. Your hands shake a little bit. This is your heart, your hat and your heart is pounding. All right. So it's like one of those things, like, you got to master, like, you're in deep breaths. Yeah. Take some deep breaths. That you're in charge. No amount of money is going to be worth feeling this big, super tiny. Like,
I never had that experience. Everywhere. And it's because I teach every single person the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's, it's something important to think about. Like, you'll get it, right? Like, it's not that you won't ever master it, but like on that first client, just take a couple deep breaths, get a napkin, dab your hands, and just knock it out. You'll be fine. Yeah. Then the second client, it comes smoother. And then every time it's smoother after that.
Yeah. And you're the expert, right?
They're paying you.
You're the expert. They don't know if you use XYZ jump ring. And if you make a mistake, you're really the only person that knows that you made that mistake. It's the same thing like when you're at your wedding, you're the only one that really knows something went wrong.
Yeah.
And so if you do something wrong, they're not going to know.
Exactly.
You fix whatever you need to. If you make a mistake, I love what Lisa told me. She said, if I feel like something isn't all the way, I will actually call my customer back. Like, she's so good about that. I think that's great. That's just the follow through.
Yeah. Following up and making sure that everything turned out good. It's lasting. Yeah. What do you guys do for, say, a client's bracelet broke?
Well, my practice is I offer free rewelds to everybody. Free rewelds. Because that makes I guarantee my product. I do not offer anything gold plated. I actually re-weld 25 times, 30 times. I tell them you can come back 100 times. And what that does for my business is incredible. They always come back to re-weld and they hardly ever leave without buying a second bracelet. So, and then guaranteeing your product is very important because my brand, my product, my name is my business, is my reputation is very important to me.
Well, it's your brand. Yeah. That is your brand, not your colors, not your aesthetic. Your brand is your reputation and how you put yourself out there. It's your vibe. It's your attitude. It's your customer service. It's all of that. Colors are great, but your brand is you and what you put out there.
Definitely. Do you offer free?
Of course I do. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, like she said, they're still going to come back. They're going to want something else. If they don't, how many times have you went somewhere by yourself as a girl? I usually bring my friend, my daughter, my niece. So somebody's coming with me, and I'll always absolutely would do that. There's no question.
Yeah.
I think it's actually shortchanges some people. And I've had other people say, hey, hit me up. They're like, hey, I had something break. I need a weld. Like, what would you do, if I needed it welded? I know I didn't come to you. And so I get that too, where they're like, can you weld this on since it fell off? So-and-so won't do it. They charge me $25 to re-weld and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, and they're going to come to me to get a re-weld. That's horrible. They're switching and they liked you. So
very true. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So it just, they didn't take care of me. And I gave them my money and they didn't take care of me.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I'm going to add one little thing that happened to me recently. I was at an event. It's like 3 hours from my house. And I put an anklet on a customer. And unfortunately, by the time I got her home, the festival was over. She called me and she says, my anklet, when I got home, it wasn't on my ankle anymore. So I have a policy that all sales are final. But because this lady was so honest and so kind, and the way she reached out to me, she wanted to know when I was going to be back in the area. And I said, I don't have another festival in your town for another probably 6 to 8 months. So, but I'm willing to, I offer her, I said, I'm willing to just send you a new anklet because I knew how much she loved it. But I'd be willing to put a class on it, find you somebody that can weld it for you. And I didn't charge her anything. And she says, I don't expect you to give me anything for free. I said, no, this is my offer to you. Even though I do not replace bracelets, but for some reason I did for this particular lady. And it turned out that she wanted 2 extra bracelets sent to her, and she paid me extra for the 2 extra bracelets.
Yeah.
So giving somebody anything for free and replacing it, it doesn't like take away from your business. It's actually about the customer satisfaction. It is my policy.
It's doing the right thing.
Correct.
And that wins every time.
Definitely. And what would be a feel-good moment that you've experienced in the permanent jewelry business?
My goodness, I have a lot, but especially when
We have a lot.
no, I do. But I'm gonna concentrate on just one, like one of them aha moments, beautiful moments. It's like when the moms come with the kids and or the family, and everybody ends up getting the same bracelet. And she was just shopping for herself, but then the daughter saw what I was doing and she wanted one. And then the little boy wants another one. And then we make a necklace with a young boy. And then daddy wants to match the boy. So those are so special moments because then now I have 4 customers that left, and they were just so blessed that they left without something that they didn't even walk in to get.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
So those are like super special moments to me.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. As far as mine, I mean, I agree with you. There's a lot of like little moments, the things like the graduations where somebody comes in for, and you're like, oh, our anniversary. I had a wife come in one time and she was looking at the booth and the jewelry, and she goes, so I want this. And it was super cute because he was like, you could tell he didn't know what he was going to get because he was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let's do this right now. I love those kind of moments. I was telling her, I have a friend of mine that came to one of my pop-ups, and he brought his daughter. And so single dad bringing his daughter in to actually get a bracelet. It was so cute. This is like one of my favorite moments. I had a little slower moment. It kind of died down for a minute, and she came like behind my station with me, like behind my table, and she's over there, and I'm letting her have some of like the scraps and whatnot. And she's over there actually playing with the stuff while making stuff. And he's like, oh, is she okay? I'm like, yes, this is her moment. This is her experience. It's not just about me sitting down and like zap, zap. But it was so cute because she was just like so excited. And she was like, just put her little head down on my shoulder. And I was like, oh God, I need to go because I already have one. But it was just so pretty and so precious. Yeah, it was really cute. So I like those experiences. I love them.
Speaking of a slow moment in an event, what do you guys do because not, an event may or may not have a good turnout. Weather can be, an indicator. Or there's it's not too hot outside. So like, I'm not stepping foot outside. Things like that. What do you guys do when it's slow?
I actually make rings, and I clean my area. I take the time to like detangle my chains. I actually, if I'm running low on some of the chains that I had on display first, then I'll change it up a little bit. I always find something to do.
I do things like that, but I also like to collaborate, find somebody that I can go around. We've even talked about like putting a free bracelet on somebody, to like
another vendor.
Right. Another vendor, because those vendors, they're going to be like your
my next door vendors always get a free bracelet.
Because
Because they're my advertisement.
yeah.
Right.
They're going to say, oh, go, like she was telling me. And I'm like, I do that too, because you're giving away something to them. They're going to talk about you. You can go back and forth. And I love that. I'll even go around if I have a moment, and I have somebody with me, I can go around and talk to the other vendors too, because we don't always know each other. You may have just got there for one day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me go introduce myself. And they're like, oh, you do that? Hey, okay, wait. Because even if they don't send me somebody at that moment, which is kind of rare, they may be like, oh, hey, I have a bachelorette party, or I have this coming up.
Yeah.
Can you do that? I went up and introduced myself to the bartenders. They're like, hey, after you're done. I'm like, all right, I got you. Like,
And every one of those interactions, they're gonna remember. Oh, I met this lady, Angel. She just remembered jewelry. It's so important to always kind of throw that in there. Like, hey, if you know anyone, someone will always refer you. Like, oh, I know somebody that does this. Like, even in other industries, like I would remember someone who does car detailing or photography or whatever it may be.
I even walk to like the food trucks and whatever when I go get whatever, and they ask me, "Are you?" Because we always have a name tag, and she's like, "Oh, I'm working by myself or whatever." And I walk by, but you were busy and I didn't have time. And I'm like, "What would you like? I'll make it and I'll bring it to you." So then I'll go back to my booth and I kind of like measure it and then I'll bring it back to her. And then by the end of the festival, when we all pick it up, I have it ready and she comes in and I weld it in.
Yeah. And don't discount the men. I mean, she was telling me, and I love this, being at a car show, that's a very big male oriented event, and giving them free bracelets. Totally understand. I love giving that stuff away, but they were men. They're referring people to her. And also, men have spouses, girlfriends, daughters, like things like that, or sons that want it. Don't discount that. Plus, we have this new men's line. Like, it's just, yeah.
And then, of course, my brand colors are pink, so I have this bright pink tint. So they get intimidated that this is only for ladies. So then I have a sign that says men collection, children collection, women's collection, just to be very specific. Yeah. Because I don't have the time to even if you're not busy, you don't have the time to explain it to every single person that walks by your booth, especially at very busy events like.
Agree.
Definitely. One thing I would recommend for someone starting out is to definitely have someone with you at your first event, just for a little bit of just comfort. That
it's just not always possible.
It's not always possible, but if you could get one person, a friend or someone to just kind of keep you company on that first event, mostly, once you get the hang of it and your flow, it'll be fine. But they can help you take payment. They can help you measure, just because it's intimidating on your first one. Just, a tip,
Yeah.
So yeah, do you guys have anything else to add to our new upcoming?
You know what? I think some things that people kind of, at least that I hear a lot from talking to students or other people, they're like, how do you find your events? Oh, and finding those events, I think, is like half the battle.
Yes.
You can apply for things once you find them, but how do you find those events? I think that for me, I searched a lot of, like, once I went to an event, those events had a website that actually listed them all out in the area of like other ones that were coming, other farmers markets. Again, collaborating with other people. If I see a vendor, oh, what are you going to? Or even like talking to her, oh, you've been to that? Where's that? So that you can talk about like somewhere else I might want to go.
Sure.
Plus, I don't know about you, but the new thing, the AI that's coming that you guys can build please book out my events. Please take that off my plate.
Oh yeah,
the fact that we're gonna be able to have
you can book my event any day.
Yeah,
booking events is very, very time consuming. It takes time, and to find good events, it takes even more time.
But if you can have it done for you, for me, I think that's great.
Yeah,
I mean, that's priceless. And tell me the prior
event, and you can't take phone calls or something like that. That's something helpful there too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think we covered a lot. Oh, go ahead.
Do you have, now I think you do you have like a I know for marketing and everything, when they fill out everything and they're filling out their consent form, and we want that return, we want them to come or know where we're at. I love actually having a way for them to know where I'm at. I have their email, I have their phone number, and I can nurture that audience ongoing. Here's where I'm going to be. And that's not even things you can have that on.
Oh, I want to know, when would you be back? Or
Always remember your consent form. You get that information. You take their name, phone number, email, even their socials like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and create that database so that if you're having a slow month, for example, you could always just message everybody and be like, hey, is anyone interested in a pop-up at their house? You know, like, are you having a barbecue? I can come over and give everyone a bracelet, you know? You could, there's always something you could do with this. This is what I love about it.
Yeah.
So
when you get a new chain in, oh, I got this new chain in. I thought of you, you know, and you're jotting on that and getting those things. It gets that return business. It keeps you, they have to see you. Like a lot of people to remember you. Like I know we're going to events and stuff like that, but if they get, you're in the forefront of their mind, constantly getting a little cute little email or something like that, that marketing is great. And I learned that directly, like
just for experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because you're at an event doesn't mean that your next event has to be a festival or a pop-up or whatever. Like from events, I book bridals, like weddings. I book birthday parties. I book private parties. I do bubble champagne parties. I do the bachelor,
the gender reveal that we mentioned.
See, there's so many things.
I go to restaurants. I collaborate with my hair salon. I go anywhere, everywhere, and there is, the list is just
wherever you could put a little table in your machine and have a few chains.
Look, I'm in the conferences in Vegas, and because the line is too long, I went to the manager and I said, "Can I entertain your customers that are in line and set up my table and put so they're not bored because I was already bored waiting for an hour and a half, and it was incredible."
Yeah. If you never ask, it's always no.
Correct.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Awesome. So we went over what to expect on your first event, what to bring,
how to find them,
how to find your festivals or events, how to deal with your customer interaction is really important. Customer survey is really important. Always smile and don't be nervous. You're going to tackle this like a champ and just do it.
Treat everybody like you would want to be treated.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. So, thank you so much, ladies. I was so happy you guys are here with us at Link Permanent Jewelry Training. We're so excited to help our new students and anyone in the business that wants to grow. That's a big thing. We're here to give resources and information and help everyone grow.
Absolutely.
And one thing is, like, if you've been in the business and you want extra tips, we're also here to help you. It's not just the new students. It's just people that want to grow to the extent of your dreams.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.